My name is Father Bob. I'm a priest of the Diocese of Rockford, and I have been ordained 38 years as a priest. I've served the Rockford Diocese in several positions, as an associate pastor, as a teacher in a high school, as a minister to separated and divorced ministry. I have served very privilegedly to the Bishop of the Diocese in a role as his secretary and master of ceremonies, and I'm presently in a position as a pastor of a parish here, St. Mary's in McHenry. God has this wonderful plan for his world and his creation, and people of faith and people of little faith or no faith at all. And somewhere around, in our knowledge, is 1868, German Catholics began to settle in the McHenry area here. And fortunately, there was a neighboring church, the Father Church of this area, St. John the Baptist in Johnsburg, had a priest already ministering there. Those missionary priests were also in service to a small group of German Catholics in McHenry. Their first church here in McHenry was on August 15th, 1894, in what was a public school. And shortly after that, the gifted people here, the faithful people willing to develop their own spiritual growth and depth in the Catholic community, began to build a church of which they now celebrate in its structure here. It's had different events in its life, different phases of reconstruction. They had a small fire here in 1917, and it was small enough where the people had an opportunity to rebuild it to its present structure. There's always been some tweaking here and tweaking there. The original cost of the church was just slightly under $17,000. And so that brings us to a point of the many families that still remain here who built this church. And those families still remember their grandparents and their great-grandparents who, with their faith, built this lovely and beautiful church we call St. Mary's in McHenry. I think first of all what you're going to see is a church built on a highway. And this highway has thousands and thousands of cars over the history of this church passing by each and every day. And what we have done to the front sign is welcome people to our parish here at St. Mary's. But also within that sign, there's a little passage that says, "From God's house to your house, thank you for coming to church today." As you walk up to the steps of the church, you enter a beautiful facility, very simple, but very adorned with its church artifacts, its stations of the cross, and certainly the beauty of the stained glass windows would certainly tell a wonderful story, both biblical and that about of our faith, of Mary, the mother of Jesus, our mother, the patroness of our church here. Part of the mission and the journey of the church is to help those who need help. Give you an example. The Beatitudes call upon us to reach out and touch those who are alone, those who feel oppressed, those who feel abandoned. Remember, God loves us unconditionally. And God would like us to do is in any circumstance in our life, to be able to reach out, maybe not in an unconditional meaning or level, but to be able to lay some conditions and lay some meaning out to touch people's lives, to see that God is real, that God loves us very well, that he doesn't judge us, he doesn't condemn us, but he loves us in a love that we don't understand. Love and peace for us are to eliminate conflict. Jesus and God, their love is much different. Their peace and their love has no conditions placed on us. It's the freedom, the free will, the faith that we have that has been provided for us from the very beginning of time. And God gives each and every one of us gifts and talents. And it's how we use those gifts and talents and the opportunity and the privilege to share our gifts within our own communities and the communities at large and the world at large. Our responsibility here is to take care of this community, our family, and our friends. Three important words have great meaning to myself personally, and I hope to the people of this community. faith, family, and friends. We cannot live in this world and survive in this world without the faith that has been given to us. Our family, what our parents gave us and how they nurtured us, how they shared their faith and their love, and also our friends. Jesus said once, a long time ago in the sacred scriptures, he no longer calls us slaves, but he calls us friends. And I hope that this world of ours becomes a better world because we are friends in Jesus Christ and the God who created us and breathed life into us.